Escobar. Escobar.
I didn't touch you. I didn't touch you. I know you didn't touch him. I'm recording it.
It's just one of those things where people tend to believe police officers more than they do the average citizen.
Keep your hands where they're at.
The victim has no recourse. Sometimes these officers, they lie about the actual events that took place. It becomes the officer's word against the victim's word. And if they allege that the victim took some type of affirmative or assertive action against the officer, then there's no one there to actually refute that.
Anytime an officer has to go hands-on, has to use force with someone who's resisting, the likelihood of people getting injury is going to happen. So just because someone is injured doesn't mean the officer did anything wrong. No officer wants to hurt someone. No officer wants to take another life. No officer wants to use their weapon. But what I tell my officers is they will go home to their families.
Of course, anytime a police officer uses excessive force, that would be a concern of mine. Now, police officers are always going to be in a situation of using defensive force, whether it's pepper spray, whether it's taser, or whether it elevates from there.
1/3 of our defensive tactics response to resistance investigations happen in the downtown area.
On June 4th, 2015, at approximately 10 p.m., while I was sitting submissively on the curb of a sidewalk located approximately 1 block from 578 North Orange Avenue, Orlando, Florida, I was unlawfully battered and tasered by 2 off-duty Orlando police officers who were moonlighting as security for a private nightclub named Venue 578. The names of those 2 officers are David Cruz and Officer Charles Mays.
Do I want to close the bars down at 10? I don't think that is going to work, but the mix in the late evening hours, yeah, that is definitely a concern to me. What we can do better there, I'm not sure, because we talk about it quite a bit.
I need an ambulance downtown Orlando right now. I had a police officer knock my front teeth out.
Okay, what's the address where you are?
Do you have an idea? No, you just knocked my 2 front teeth out. I'm on Rosen Avenue right now.
And I understand that they have a very dangerous job to do, a job that I would not want to do. I quite honestly would not want to be one of the officers on Saturday night or Sunday night dealing with all the people that they do downtown.
I was surprised, to be honest with you. I was having a conversation with a woman at the time who I know well, and essentially the conversation I did not feel involved officer interaction. So when I was pushed and essentially when I was abused by these officers, I was completely taken aback and surprised by the situation.
While the investigation is still ongoing, based on witnesses and officer reports, it is clear that Carter was intoxicated, resisting officers, uncooperative, and attempted to flee multiple times. What we're concentrating on a lot is intervention. You know, we know how our officers have to make split-second decisions, things happening out there in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning. They have to make quick decisions, and we want officers to intervene if possible.
But if it happens again and again and again and again, then it's no longer narrowed to a reflection of the police department or even the elected officials. It's a statement about our community and what we will put up with.
I was shot right there. I got shot right there. It came in through my back. It ruptured my spleen. My spleen was removed. It punctured my lung. They took a piece of my liver out that was damaged.
Society has a certain perception about African American men that is put forth in music and theater and movies, and it's not positive.
And when it comes down to somebody losing their life, man, taken away from their family and their loved ones, they can't come back from that. There's no coming back from that. People trust police. They don't want to think that a police would actually kill somebody that didn't deserve it, or that he would lie to cover it up. People don't want to think that, but it's happening.
The police officers do not perform their duties in a vacuum, in a cultural vacuum. When they come upon a Marcus Cole, they have certain ideas about them. It's a matter of those who have guidance and direction and authority over them. What are they permitting? What messages are they communicating to them in terms of their expectations?
I think it's problematic that a larger percentage of African Americans, young African American males that see no hope, are committing more of the crimes, a disproportionate amount of the crimes, than to the percentage of the population. But I would expect that it would be proportional, that the use of force against whatever segments would be proportional to those being arrested. And that is in fact the case.
Yeah, we have to confront the threat that is upon us. So no one's thinking about race. They're thinking about going home to their families at the end of the night.
We do about 20 hours of high liability and use of force training a year, and that includes everything from baton, taser, chemical agent, defensive tactics, handcuffing, and also includes our firearms training. We want our officers to be able to understand the capabilities of their weapons that they carry and how to properly use them. It's part of maintaining our certification. We actually exceed the state minimums.
We hold them to the highest professional standards, and if they don't adhere to those standards and they have committed conduct that violates the criminal codes, then they should be prosecuted.
Officer Escobar was sustained on multiple violations of our department rules and regulations, which include standards of conduct, use of force, treatment of prisoners, obedience to laws and department regulations, and false reports. Therefore, effective today, William Escobar was terminated from the Orlando Police Department. My message to the community is saying that we're going to hold our officers accountable.
I can't get inside the head of every single officer. The only thing I can do is I can make my message clear, which I have, and I can impose discipline on those officers that do commit these acts. That shouldn't take away from 99.99% of the time that officers are doing great things in this community, are making great cases, great arrests, and basically being good police officers.